Good morning, Val. I'm always on the right side. There's someone else who's joined. That looks like Anne. Good morning, Anne.
Hey, Sean.
Val's already joined us. A little chilly here today. We started off in the high 50s. I know that's probably much warmer than some people's temperatures. But got my sweat top on, my hoodie. Oh, got some subtle music in the background. I'm over there. Oh. Oh, that's a trick me. All right. Let's get it started so we can enjoy our Sunday. To get started today, we're going to come to the middle parts of our mat. We're going to bring our feet out to the sides of the mat with the sides of our feet running parallel. Let's just take your hips and gently push them to the left and to the right, and then circle them around a little bit, one direction, kind of like the direction of a clock, and then reverse that movement. Just getting all that musculature and fluid into the hips, moving a little bit so they start to warm up those muscles. As we bring the hips back to center, let's take the upper body, starting from the hips themselves, and imagine each and every vertebrae of your spine lengthening up. Let's draw the shoulders up towards the ears. Now, as much straightness as you can bring to your legs, let's do that. Let's almost like lock out the knees. And while you hold on that spot, let's take the ball of each big toe and try to push it into the ground, and then try to turn it in towards the center line or midline of the body. Keep those shoulders held high. Open the palms to face front. Now, make the arms long. Give me a nice proud chest. Slightly bring the hands back. Take a deep inhale and lengthen right from the feet all the way up. But most importantly right now, I like to keep the pressure down into the ball of each big toe. Lift the ball of the little toe up off the earth. We're creating a lot of emphasis in these inner thigh muscles. I like to try to keep that active as you bring your hands up with the palms facing the sky, shoulder height. Now, take a big inhale. On the exhale, open up. Let's make sure we don't hit our partner. Now, use the fingers to pull the arms long. Expand across the ribs, across the chest, across the back. Take a big inhale again. Exhale, we're going to hold on this. Now let's change that inward rotation of the ball of each big toe, sorry, to an external rotation of the heels. Let's try to push the heels away from the midline of the body. You're going to feel those upper muscles in and around the hips start to activate. Those are the external muscles of the hips themselves. Let's feel that muscle group on each side of the hip active as we bring the hands all the way to the sky. Let's take a big inhale, and while you work to keep the legs straight, let's pull your butt back. The orientation of weight bearing is going to change a little bit in our foot. I want you to feel mostly weighted to the heel. And keep pulling back the hips with the legs straight. Now reach the arms a little higher, take a big breath in, and as you exhale, fold all the way down. Let your spine go into flexion. Feel the length through that lower back. Feel the relaxation through the muscles of the upper back and shoulders. Let the head kind of dangle. Now push your hips high to the sky. That's another way of saying basically straighten out your legs. And let's get the orientation of weight back into the heels by pulling the hips backwards. If you feel more of a pull on the hamstrings and a little bit more on the gluteals, that's great. That's exactly what you're trying to achieve. Now let's make 3 connection points of the foot. The weight bearing mostly in the heel, of course, but let's get the ball of the big toe and the ball of the small toe on your mats. As you inhale, extend the back. Keep the back in extension, bend the knees. So we're kind of tabletopping the back. Let's bring the palms onto the shins. And then keeping the hips low, let's unhinge through them. So we're going to take the chest and pull up with it. And as you do so, I'd like you to hollow out the belly, like hollow it out. You can almost feel like the low back kind of straightening out. And I want you to keep that active as you bring the hands forward. Bring them up shoulder height to start. Now, take the legs, make them straight, take the butt, pull it back, keep the upper body nice and long, raise the arms. Beautiful. Try to raise them a little higher as you inhale. Hold them up as you exhale. As you inhale, try to raise them a little higher, kind of like we're ratcheting up. Now on the next breath, as you release it, fold it back down. Hang out for a couple of breaths here. Let all of the musculature of the back kind of lengthen and relax. Tension free through that whole upper body. Tension still felt in that back end of your body, hamstrings and glutes in particular. Let's straighten the legs. Draw the hips back. Give me most of the weight bearing to the heels. Extend to a flat back as you inhale. Keep the back in its extension as you bend both knees on the exhale. Tabletop the back, of course. Palms to the shin. As you extend the spine, keep the hips low, unhinge. Sweep the arms forward, rotate the palms to face. Hello again. Now, reach forward so there's kind of a rounding through the back, and then pull the shoulder blades back and push the chest forward. Hollow out the belly. We want to use that hollowed out belly, that muscle activation, to keep the low back decompressed. We're going to support it with that musculature at the front. Now, take the heels, try to turn them away from the body. Raise the arms, inhale, exhale, hold, inhale higher, exhale, hold, inhale higher, exhale, hold. On the next exhale, fold down, bring your hands to the mat, step your feet back to plank. Hard to imagine that this is just a warm up. Kind of feels like work. Now, in push-up position, this is what plank is. Let's take the chest and let it drop in between the arms without bending through the elbows. That drop is actually the shoulder blades rotating away from the front of the body towards the back. I'd like you to try to keep that external rotation of the shoulder blades active as you pull the back of the head up in line with the back itself. Same as pulling the chin into the neck. Pull your hips up and back to down dog. Up to the tippy toes. Drive the heels to the earth. Keep the heels driving to the earth and pull your tailbone higher to the sky. Now let's try to avoid rounding through the neck and pulling the head through the arms. In the peripheral vision, you should kind of see the arms on either side of the eyes. Push back to the tippy toes. Drive the heels back to the earth. Pull the tailbone a little higher to the sky. And then as you release your next breath, let the body come back to plank. Let the chest kind of sink through the arms. Now, imagine I've tied a string on each shoulder, and then use that string to pull the shoulders away from the midline of the body. Try to pull them away. Nice. Now, slowly lower the knees to hover. Pull the hips back, just to feel a nice release or lengthening through the bottom of the foot. And then come back to plank, legs straight. Let the chest descend through the arms or through the shoulders towards the mat. Pull the back of the head up equal in height to the shoulders. Hover the knees just above the mat. Pull your hips back. Feel that nice tension, but also release base type feeling in the bottom of the feet. Pull back a little deeper. As you release the breath, come back to plank. Pull the hips up and back to down dog. And then step or jump your feet forward. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension. Bend the knees, tabletop the back. Bring your palms to the shins. Extend the spine, keep it extending. Use the chest to kind of lift the upper body and open through the hips. We're kind of creating that nice opening effect. Let the hands release back this time. Open the palms to face the earth. As we hold on this spot, let's use the fingers, separate them widely, and then use them to pull the arms long and proud the chest a little more. Now, straighten the legs, pull the butt back, give me the weight bearing back to those heels of yours. Sweep the hands forward, rotate the palms to face, and then use the thumbs to pull the arms long and to the sky. Inhale a little higher, exhale, hold. Inhale a little higher, hold on the exhale. Inhale a little higher, exhale, fold. Step it down, step it back to plank. Drop the knees to the earth. Spread them wide to the edges of the mat. Take the ball of each big toe and the heel of each foot and bring them together with the toes tucked under. Walk the hands forward. Pull the hips back. Little variation on child's pose. Now, move your body right and then move it left. And then just kind of oscillate slowly between left and right. The feeling should be one where you feel the small muscles just on the back part of your shoulder blades, getting a nice little lengthening. Those are your exterior rotators of the shoulders itself and also of the arm, believe it or not. Now come back center. Believe it or not, it's like Ripley's, believe it or not. I'm gonna keep my hands, and I recommend you do the same, about the width of the mat. I'm going to let the chest push through the arms. Now we're going to take the elbows and spiral them in towards the midline. It's almost going to lock out the elbows, and that's fine. We have an activation of muscle. That means we're not stacking the joints. Pull the back of the head. Push the chest to the earth. Take your tailbone, roll it to the sky as you lift the back of the head to the earth. Hollow out the belly. You should feel a lot of tension through that low back and belly area, and that's good. Now, relax all that. Step your knees back in so they're underneath the hips. Step your feet out so they're the same width as the knees. Keep your hands in the same spot. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hold on that. Push the chest through the shoulders again. I know, like me, I like to push away, which is really kind of where we don't want our shoulder capsules, the little joint socket, if you will, where the shoulders should be positioned. We really don't want them forward of the ear. It means that we kind of round it out. We're just kind of practicing that muscle activation. Now hollow out the belly while we keep the shoulders inert. Let's take the right hand and then slide it forward on the mat towards the front. Take the palm, rotate it to the side or face the midline, and then take the hand and start to lift it to the sky. Keep the arm long. Range of motion is going to be relatively nominal, that's fine. And then come back with that right hand on the mat, reposition it back towards the edge of the mat. Take the left hand. Before we move it though, I'd like you to check in with your hips because a lot of us like to push out to one side. We're going to try to be core active and hold the hips in place while we push the left hand forward towards the front of the mat. There we go. Should feel a little bit of activation difference in the belly. Flip the palm to face the midline of the body, raise the hand. As you exhale, release, let the head fall, take the center of the back, mid-back, pull it to the sky, tuck the tailbone under, hollow out the belly, inhale, exhale, push the chest through, pull the back of the head high and the tailbone, rotate it up, hollow out the belly, and then just relax. Nice. Now, let's take the knees up off the earth, pull the hips up and back, step or jump your feet forward. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension, bend the knees, palms to the shins, extend the spine as you inhale. Now, Keep the back relatively tabletop. So it's just a slight angle difference between the shoulders and the hips. We're not trying to rise out of this position right yet. Let's release the palms off the shin. Open the palms to face the earth as you sweep your arms back. Try to expand the chest. Try to push the chest through, just like we were doing in that push-up position. And as you do that, simultaneously, pull the back of the head. Hollow out the belly. Hollow it out more. Hollow it out more. There we go. Now, sweep the hands forward. We're kind of like in a squat-like position. Pull the weight back. I want you to give as much weight bearing to the heels. Keep those arms shoulder width apart. Lower the hips. Hold down. While you're holding down now, take this heels, spiral them away from the midline. Big activation on those lower muscles of the hip, the external or side muscles. Lower, lower, lower. Now, keep the hips low. Try to unhinge through them. So we're going to feel some weight pull back, and it almost feels like you might want to topple. Don't do that. Just give me as much of that experience as you can without toppling. Hold the hips down a little lower. Raise the arms high. We're going to hold on this. We're going to breathe it out. Just like we practiced earlier. Inhale, raise the arms. Hold them up. Inhale, raise. Hold on the exhale. Inhale, raise. Hold on the exhale. Stand tall and say, thank you very much, Sean. All right. Fold all the way down. Step it back to plank. Oh, someone's leaving my class. Now, push up, hover low. And then hover high. And then pull your hips up and back. And then float it back to your plank position. Knees are optional, of course, or mandatory, depending on how you look at it. Hover low. Hover high. Pull up and back, down dog. We're going to do this little series one more time. But before we go there, tippy toes, push up onto them. Drive the heels down. Pull your tailbone to the sky. Hollow out the belly. Keep your belly hollowing out as you return back to plank. Keep the belly hollowing out as you push your chest through the shoulders. Keep your belly hollow as you hover low. And keep it hollowed out as you push back up. Beautiful. Pull up and back to down dog. Take your right leg, reach it to the sky. Whoops, right through the plants behind me. Step the right foot forward. Now, let's take the right knee and bring it over the toes of the right foot. Let's hold in that spot. Check in with the feet's positions in terms of width. As best you can, get your version of hip width apart in the front and back foot. Now, extend the spine. Take the back knee, keep the spine extending, and lower it onto the mat. So you're kind of lengthening. You feel the bottom of the foot, feel a nice stretch. Come up into an upright position.
This is easy.
This is easy, yeah. Now that we got all the warm-up out, we can have all the easy stuff now. So let's take that front knee and bring it forward more. You're gonna feel the left hip open up a little more. If you're compressing in the lower back, try not to be so vertical. Lean in a little bit, hollow out the belly. Use those muscles to keep that low spine supported. Now I have my forearms, so you can bring your hands onto the knee area. And you keep the spine long and push the knee forward a little more. Get a little depth of release in that left hip. You're also going to feel the supportive muscles on the right side.
Yeah, the right leg's doing all the work.
Yeah, because it's doing a lot of weight bearing. So the gluteal, which is in a high state of flexion, should be going, hey,
What about me?
what about me? You remember me? You feel that burn going on? Yeah. Kirsten's all done. Hopefully you aren't. Oh, I'm shaming my wife. There we go. Now, take the knee of the left side, lift it up off the earth. Take the right leg, straighten it. Beautiful. Now, both legs straight. Find the balance between the left foot and right foot, like I'm trying to do right now. And let's determine what lean is body appropriate for us today. So As you lean in, there's a certain amount of overload to the muscles that we're imparting. And the amount that you lean has to be based upon strength of muscle. So it's not stronger is better, it's workload that's better and having the appropriate amount. So as you lean, I want you to find that balance between strength and stabilization versus I'm going to push a little too hard and feel miserable. So if you've got the right amount of lean, let the arms unfold, pull the elbows into the body, pull the back of the head to the sky, take the hands as they keep open to the earth, draw them backwards and feel the chest kind of expand. Beautiful. Now, sweep the elbows up shoulder height, bend through them, and we have a goalpost type of look going on. Now let's pull the back of the hands backwards and then let them sweep down and all the way down. So we have a rotation through the shoulder joint. If your head's starting to fall off the line, pull the back of the head up, please. Now sweep the hands all the way back up and then lower down and oscillate between the 2 points. Slowly. Up and down. And now up and hold. Extend the arms straight. Lift the hands high to the sky. On the breath as you release it, fold it down. Step the right foot back and say, thank goodness my gluteals are feeling better already. Right? Kirsten's going, yes. Now, hover low. Hover high. Pull up and back, down dog. Before we shift it out, up to the tippy toes. Heels drive to the earth. Tailbone pulls to the sky. Left leg sweeps up to the sky. Left foot steps forward. Right knee descends to the mat. Now let's take the left knee, push it forward. Beautiful. Extend the spine. Take the back of the head, pull it to the sky. Nice. This feels good, right? Now keep the spine extending and let's unhinge, taking the hands off the earth. Push the knee forward. Now we're going to add this in a little earlier. You're going to take the hands, reach them back. Get that right amount of lean, body appropriate. When you're ready, right knee lifts up off the earth, left leg straightens. Both legs are now straight. Upper body, we're going to play around with the lean again. So spinal flexion and leaning or hip hinging are two different things. Spine's long, the angle through the hip is what I'd like you to focus on without rounding through the back. Sweep the arms back a little further. Make the chest nice and proud. Sweep the hands forward, shoulder height. Palms have turned to face. As you inhale, raise the arms, and as you exhale, lower the elbows. We're coming back to our field goal. A little bit different than last time, I know. Now, sweep the hands back. Rotate through the hands all the way down. So like the goalposts have been turned upside down. Sweep them back up. And between the 2 points, move slowly, slowly up and down. Make sure the elbows aren't rotating, are not lowering down. Oops. Keep them elevated high, shoulder height if you can. Next time down, sweep back up, extend the arms out. Long, raise them, inhale. We're not coming out of this position. We're keeping that load on that left glute, hamstring. Exhale, fold, step it back, plank. I was just looking over at Kirsten. She's kind of got this look on her face. I know she's got a runny nose. Hips pull up and back, down dog, tippy toes, heels drive earth, tailbone pulls sky,
Step or jump both feet forward. Inhale to a flat back as you extend. Bend the knees, palms to shin. Keep the back in extension. Unhinge this time. Sweep the arms backwards, palms are facing earth. Now, this low back, if you're arching, I'd like you to engage that six-pack muscle, hollowing out the belly, engaging the six-pack, kind of synonymous. Chest is nice and proud. As we hold back here, straighten the legs. So your butt is well back of the heels, right? Make the chest nice and proud. Sweep the hands forward, shoulder height. Let's bring the fingers together and interlock them. As we work to keep the butt pulling back and the legs straight, let's rotate the shoulder carriage right, come back center, rotate left. And let's just oscillate between the 2 points. Work on keeping the spine long, work on keeping the neck long. Try to avoid the hips swaying like you're dancing. This is not a dance move. This is a trunk rotation move. As we rotate the trunk, hollow out the belly. You're gonna feel the obliques start to fatigue a little as we exercise them in this rotation. And then when you're ready, come back center, release the fingers, let the hands sweep back, stand tall, sweep your hands to the sky. As you inhale, lengthen, and as you exhale, fold and have a seat. So soon? Oh, I'm gonna grab a little water.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers to you too. All right. I don't think this class is going by as fast as yesterday's was. But that's all good. This is all good. Systemic work for your body. As you know, our bodies work as systems of muscles. So we have to work in that way for them to be stronger. The system, work the system. Let's bring our hands on top of the kneecaps. Now, spinal flexion, spinal extension. And as you extend the spine, check in with the hips. There's these little bony protuberances on the pelvic itself, are sit bones. It's the ischium, if you like, in the technical terms and stuff like that. So we're going to try to lengthen out the lower back, the lumbar spine. And as we do so, we're going to hollow out the belly and take the neck and make it long, all that good stuff. And then we're going to bring all of it into flexion by lowering down onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. First one done loses.
Hang up here all day.
No, you got to go down nice and slow. Hanging out is not working muscle. Even though it feels like it's tense, we're not really working the contractive length of the muscle or contractive expansion of the muscle. So we come all the way down, pull the knees up into the chest, and then circle them, independent of each other.
Feel my inner thighs from yesterday.
Yeah, some inner thighs from yesterday being felt.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing that with everybody. All right, let's calm that. Bring the feet down onto the earth. Let's take the right foot and bring it on top of the left thigh. And without the use of your hands, I know a lot of people like to kind of dig in and push to make it better, but it's just going to make better by actually using muscle of the legs as opposed to muscles of the arm. So without using the arms, of course, try to take the knee and rotate it away from the body. So you feel that activation. Now that activation in and around the hip, we're going to work to leverage and pull that muscle a little longer by grabbing the left leg and pulling it in towards the body as we work to rotate the right knee away from the body. This is a PNF stretch of sorts. I'm going to use breathing to help facilitate the amount of rotation or range of motion in the hip. Let's pull the knee in a little closer. Let's try to work that right knee away, keeping it nice and active. On the next exhale, try to pull in a little closer. Let's hold it for a couple breaths. And then release. And then switch sides. Just create that exterior away body rotation of the left knee. Let's keep it active as we begin to pull that right leg in towards the body, reaching around to wrap upon the hamstrings with the hands. As we work to push that knee away with the muscular activation that we created, we're keeping it active as we pull that right leg closer to our body. Using the breath, exhaling to pull closer. Using deep breathing here, we're going to trigger relaxation of sorts to the muscle, even though it's highly active right now, kind of pulling it all apart. Kind of gets all gummed together when we sit for long periods of time. And as we release that, bringing both feet back down, we're going to change our body position, pull the knees up and into the chest, rock and roll, and come all the way up onto your toes. Bring your hands down, step your feet back, coming into a plank pose. Nice, pull your hips up and back. Tippy toes, heels earth, hip pulls for the sky. Take the right leg, sweep it up to the sky, and then step the right foot up towards the left hand, but on the side of the foot. So we're coming into pigeon pose. Didn't you want this stretch today?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So Kirsten goes, can we do pigeon stretch today? And I said, absolutely not, but I lied. Now I'm going to come down. As we work into pigeon, we want to make sure we have a couple things we can check in on. Let's make sure we haven't kind of just fallen off to the right side of the body. To make this stretch a little more optimal, to get into those smaller muscles in and around that hip joint. And when you try to keep the hips square, let's keep the spine nice and long. I don't want you to sink all the way down. This Kirsten's, gone down into it. That's fine. If you want to do that, please do. But I'm going to try to take some of us through a little deeper activation in the release. Kirsten's more familiar with this, so let her kind of provide her own governance here. Now keep the spine long. Bring the hands out in front. So you're kind of like a cobra of sort. And then we're going to walk the hands forward a little more. Ooh, this mat's a little wet. And then we're going to walk forward a little more and then try to sink down into this pose with an extended spine. We're not flexing that. And then as you release the breath this time, let the spine go into flexion. Just hold out for a few spots, a few moments. Thinking this is a wet spot to be in, but I don't. I want to lay my head down on that carpet. It's so wet. Yeah, it's kind of yucky. All right, and then let's walk the hands back up. Let's take that right foot, bring it back. So we're back in plank. Pull your hips up and back. Oh, tippy toes. Heels drive earth. Feel that gastroc, the calf muscle lengthen. The soleus is also part of that system of muscles. It should feel lengthening too. Let's take it up towards the hips by pulling the hips higher to the sky. A little more pull in the back of the knee. Those are muscles actually lengthening. Hamstrings in particular. Take the left leg, lift it to the sky. Bring the left foot forward towards the right hand. And then bring that foot down to the earth. Sometimes I find I need to step my right foot back or opposite foot back. Let's make the spine nice and long. So we begin to open up. Some of us have the flexibility where they can go deep into the stretch almost immediately. I'm going to take you there in stages. Whatever floats your boat today. We don't want to sink it. We just want to float it. Now, I'm going to step down onto my forearms. I'm going to keep my spine long. When I keep the spine long, it actually causes the muscles over and around the hips to be a little more active in their release. So we keep that tension to work for our body by lengthening out the muscles, and we do so by keeping the back long right now. As those muscles find acceptance of length. Let's bring our palms onto the earth and walk our hands forward a little more. As we come deeper down into the pose, keep the spine long. Let's hold on for a couple of breaths. And then let the spine flex and come all the way down. And enjoy this for a few more moments.
This is often when we start to do it, a very painful experience. And it goes to show you how influenced those muscles are, because this should not be a painful experience. So this helps to kind of be therapeutic towards those smaller muscles of the hips that often interfere with the hips mobility. Let's walk the hands back in. As we elevate and take that left foot back, pull the hips up and back to down dog. Tippy toes, heels drive to the earth, tailbone pulls to the sky. Make the arms long. Try to push out of the shoulders. Push the arms nice and long. Pull the tailbone a little higher as you drive those heels a little closer to the earth. And then step or jump the feet forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale as you fold down, butt down onto the mats. Extend the legs out as you lie down on your back. Slowly come down. C curving the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Why are you holding? I'm just messing with you.
I'm not, I don't know.
I'm just messing with Kirsten. So let's extend the legs straight. Let's bring them hip width apart. Let's step them in 2 or 3 inches on each side. So left and right, just a touch. So there's a big obtuse angle in the knees. Obtuse is a word that Kirsten often uses on me. You're so obtuse. Now, no, she doesn't. She goes, I don't like to use those mathematical words on you, Sean. Now take the knees and big toe, turn them into each other, get the thighs touching, start to pull them together. We want that medial muscle of the leg on left and right side working. Now, if your low back starts to feel this, I'd like you to hollow out the belly and keep it actively hollowing out as your thighs push together. So the rotation of the toes and knees together isn't what we're trying to achieve. It's the activation of those inner thigh muscles and the support of the lower back. And now we're going to add in the posterior chain. Here we go, ladies. Let's take the heels, push them into the earth, but most importantly, do not lose the push of the thighs together. Let's do both simultaneously. Keep that belly hollowed out. Let's bring the arms down beside the body. We're adding on to the intensity of work here. Cup the fingers, so our fingertips and thumbs are now touching. Keep those thighs pushing together, please. I use the magic word, right? Now, hollow out the belly, push your fingertips in the earth, make your chest proud. Push it through. Remember how we were practicing that in plank earlier today? Push through, push the chest to the sky, keep the belly hollowed out. Now, pull the heels towards the body, the butt, I mean, and try to lift the butt up off the earth. Please squeeze your thighs harder. And then lower down, extend the legs straight, bring the arms above the head, decompress everything. Fingers pull one direction, toes pull the other, get nice and long. And then pull your knees up and into the chest, forehead up to meet the knees, and then just massage by rocking forward and back. And then calm that, coming back for round 2. Legs extend straight. Step out the heels, step them in ever so slightly. Bring things together. You know what I'm talking about, knees and toes, right? Push the thighs together. Hold on that. It's amazing how active those muscles, if they start to tremble, that's fine. That's what you want. That's muscle growing or letting you know that it's being actively used right now. And those are very important muscles for stability of the hip, plural, and low back, believe it or not. And you're wondering, how could they possibly support all that when they can barely work right now? And that's why we're doing this exercise. Keep the thighs pushing together. Now, push your heels to the mat, hollow out the belly, try to get that low back, the lumbar spine. Try to push it into the mat by hollowing out the belly. Bring your arms beside the body. Cup the fingertips. Now, pull the heels towards the butt. Keep that
thigh to thigh connection. Hard, push, and try to lift the butt up off the earth. Breathe in, breathe out. Make the chest proud, hollow out the belly, pull the heels, squeeze the thighs, lower down, and extend it all out. Step the feet out, step the arms long behind or reaching away from the middle line of the body. Oh, that feels so much better. Now, how much time?
Yes, 7 minutes.
Oh, I got lots of. Pull the knees up into the chest, forehead up to meet the knees,
You're gonna do that this.
and then come forward to back and come up to a seated position. We're going to do staff pose just for the elevate. And I said that for Ed. I know. As we separate the feet a little wider than our hips. Let's take the upper body, make it nice and tall. So if you were looking in a mirror to the side of you, you'd look like an L, right? And I can say to Kirsten, L, you look good. So I know it's still a bad Sunday joke. What do you want? We're going to take the spine, keep it long. I'm going to bring the hands inside the legs. I'm going to start to walk forward. As you start to feel pull or tension, and I want you to hold on that for a second. So I want to keep the spine long and the tension in the hamstrings. So kind of pulling a little bit. Now, keep the legs straight. Take the heels, push them away from the body, and then try to push the heels into the earth and grow the spine long. And if you feel the hamstrings pull a little more, that's what you're looking to accomplish. Now, big breath in. Exhale, bring the spine into flexion, fold it down. So this is more for the lower back. You should feel a little bit of comfort and release there. And the tension on the posterior muscles of the legs should be released, mostly, not completely. Let's walk the hands back in. I'm going to scoot my hips down a little bit and come down onto my back. Whoops, got my plants going on in the back. I'm going to pull the knees up and into the chest, and then I'm going to circle my legs. Yeah, feel that nice release of those inner thigh muscles. And I'm going to reverse the movement. So this is more therapeutic. It's not really exercise, but it is kind of important for exercise to be effective. Let's bring the feet to the earth. So the feet are close to your butt. I'm going to bring them about hip width apart. And I'm going to take the right leg and cross it over the left. Look down and make sure that your knees are relatively close, almost like they're stacked on top of each other. You know, one's going to be further out to the right, which is, of course, the right leg is further to the left. We're going to use that right leg, as you know, that old chestnut. We're going to use the right leg to pull the left leg towards the earth. And as it starts to descend down, I'd like you to keep that pull and not bring that left knee all the way to the earth. It's very important. As it rests, the stretch and the dynamic of the muscle activation is changed. So you want it active, that muscle chain of the side body active. And if you feel a little pull over that left hip, good. We're going to keep that. And we're going to use that system of side body muscles to kind of lengthen out that small muscle of the hip. Now I have got my left arm reaching to the sky, and then I'm going to reach it back diagonally. So not straight back and not straight out to the side, between those 2 points. Let's pull that arm long so you can kind of feel that left chest, the muscles there are pulling out, lengthening out. And as you do so, you should also feel right along the side of the body, down and mostly over the hips, a nice pull, tension. And it might feel like, oh, that's not what it should feel like. Well, we're going to take a few breaths and tell it to kind of relax, to chill. We often do this stretch a little too quickly at the end, so I'm spending a little more time on it today. Yeah. And then let's come back up. Uncross one set, cross it over the opposite way. Left leg now pulls the right knee towards the earth. not down upon the earth. Let's take a few breaths as we hold out here. When you're ready, take the right arm, reach it up, and then reach it back diagonally. Use the fingers of the right hand to pull the arm long. Feel the expansion start across the chest, so the right side. You should feel a little more intensity in the release right over that right hip. Remember, we're kind of floating the right knee and the right hand, but we're finding length, as much length as you can between those two. You want to grow that as long as possible. When muscles shorten, length is that friendly approach to bringing them back into more and better functionality. Kirsten's in a rush to get out of this. Let's keep the arm and knee pulling apart as you inhale. And as you exhale, bring it back up ever so slowly. Pull the knees up and into the chest. Let's bring the forehead up to meet the knees and then rock and roll front to back and just keep rocking. So we have a little bit of massage going on in the spinal column. And when you're ready, come all the way up to a seated position. Oh, legs crossing. Yeah, the surface we're operating on is a little wet from rain earlier, but nonetheless, we'll get over it. Now, make the chest proud, make the spine long. Let's draw the chin in towards the neck. Beautiful. Let's bring our hands out beside the body. Let's salute the sun, and then bring hands over heart for me to thank you for your great participation today. Thanks for joining. Namaste. All right. How is everyone doing today?
Hello.
Hello, Val. Hello, Anne. Hello, Sue.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
That was good.
Oh, thank
Just
you.
the right amount of humor. Not too much.
Well, I know when you're using bad humor, there's a limit to what you can push, right?
That was good. I'm stretched out now. I was good. I was sore from yesterday.
My
Yeah.
inner thighs were sore.
Me
Holy
too.
Jesus.
Those lateral lunges are always a killer. Those medial, those inner thigh muscles always get worked a lot in that movement.
That's why we
It was
like
very good.
Yes.
Very good.
it. What are you all doing today?
And anyone? I'm recovering. I scrubbed. Derek moved into his duplex with his girlfriend. They bought a duplex and they've
nice.
done all the renovations. So I chose the bathroom. 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Just scrubbing. Well, when it's your place, you need like everyone's stuff out,
I
like
know.
5 hours, but that's where I chose to go because then you're out of the way, right? So just
Yeah.
like scrubbing, rinsing out, like everything. So that
Yeah,
was
that's what
my,
I did last week for Christopher and Hannah's house. But I did like 3 bedrooms, the kitchen. I changed the color of the kitchen floor actually by scrubbing it.
Oh, wow. That's pretty nasty.
okay. I was just relegated to one place, but it
Yeah.
was, anyway, it was all good. It's all good in the hood.
How about you?
Good,
Val?
good, good.
Sue, how's this restaurant going?
Hang on, Val's gonna answer, I think.
Sorry.
Where'd you
Val,
go?
how are you? What are you up to today?
I was disconnecting. I am going to take care of my mom today.
Ah, well, I'm sure mom will be grateful.
What a good
Yeah,
mom.
it's very, very, very cold here. So attentive to go running, but it's minus temperature, so I can't. I need to wait a little bit. So I
Yeah.
just, try to pay attention to my mom. I was going to go again to the museum, but there's a march in DC today.
Ah,
So
For what?
yeah.
What's the mark?
non-vax, against vax,
oh, anti-vax.
of
yeah.
course. There was one on Friday. I was at the Reagan building and it was, I had to leave the car in the office and then Uber there. So it was freezing. It's really freezing, not normal temperatures for here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's chilly
But-
here.
So I don't know what I'll do. I was going to take her to Hishorn where, Nina loves to go, but it's a lot of walking and it's very cold. So now we'll try to do something inside,
Yeah. Cook.
masked up.
Yeah, cook something fun.
Oh, that I do every day. Yeah, Federico gave me one of those stove, what is it called? This
Fryer?
pizza ovens. You might have
Oh,
seen
Oh,
it in
pizza oven,
Instagram.
yeah.
Yeah, which is, of course, it looks better in Instagram. It's a lot of work. So yesterday we did pizza parties.
Oh, that's
nice.
nice. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's better in the summer.
Yeah,
It's a better,
Yeah.
pizza's a better summer food. Well, actually, it's perfect anytime. It's kind of like
I
bacon.
love it.
You
I
say
love
bacon, pizza. Yeah, you won my heart, I can say.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, have fun
We're going
today.
bowling Today, we're going bowling.
Oh, cool.
have fun.
Yeah,
Cool.
should be fun.
That's what old people like us do for sports now.
No, you don't.
Anyways,
Oh,
Okay, guys.
everyone
All right.
Have a great
Love to
Sunday.
you
Thanks for
all.
joining us.
Bye, guys.
See you
Bye-bye. Enjoy.
Tuesday.
Bye-bye. See you
have
Tuesday.
fun.